Which AFC team deserves an A?
I'm high on life.
I'm going to start with you, D'Angelo.
Oh, can you come last to me so I can get a chance to write it?
I know you're ready to go.
I am not. I was going to draw it because O'Hara just
Everybody's going to doodle?
the Chief.
That's erase that.
Yeah, everybody's going to say Chiefs.
I'm going to embarrass myself.
Okay, everybody says
it's a fish.
I think
Kansas City Chiefs, everybody's going to say that. They really are complete. And I like what I hear from Michael Robinson. Mike Robb not here today. I like what I hear from Michael Robinson as far as what he thinks about Andy Reid going forward, because he's the guy that always says once Andy Reid gets figured out by the rest of the league, the second half of the season is a problem. But he believes there's just so many weapons, number one. But number two, Patrick Mahomes and his arm strength is going to be able to overcome that. So if Mike Robb's sold, I am sold. A++ for the Chiefs.
They have so many weapons. It's like even when their main guys aren't going, they can get Sammy Watkins going. It's like I don't know how you even defend them.
So for the sake of brevity, we all say the Chiefs deserve an A?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, go ahead. You guys.
Well, I probably should have went last because I probably got what everybody has.
Ooh.
Wow.
But I threw.
You gave a plus to the Patriots and a regular A to the Chiefs.
I did because the Chiefs defense still, that bend but don't break at some point. I feel like they're going to break.
Okay.
And then the Patriots did beat the Chiefs in the head-to-head. So.
There you go.
Okay.
But the Chargers are a really good football team, too, that a lot of people aren't talking about.
Yep.
So that's my grades.
I like
They're
it.
doing a good job protecting Rivers. I'm gonna go co-sign with the Chiefs, but I'm going with the Patriots. And it feels like just yesterday, right, that the Patriots were 2-2, and everybody said, "What's wrong with Tom Brady?" And oh my gosh, everybody was questioning, "What's wrong with the offense?" Well, Edelman's not there; he's suspended. Gronk, what's going on with that? This defense was giving up an unbelievable amount of points. The debacle in Detroit, right? And then here we are now. They're 6-2 after last night. They're at the top. Oh, and by the way, who scored more points than any other offense in the NFL since Week 4?
The Patriots.
Patriots.
How did I know?
They're averaging 36 points a game.
They are.
The model
Coming into
of
last night.
consistency.
So, yeah, they get an A. And it just seems like, hey, look, Sony Michel didn't play. No problem. We'll put Cordell Patterson back there. He's going to lead the
Right?
team.
It's
rushing.
fine, yeah.
They just find a way to plug guys in. No high.
We don't have a running back.
Kyle Van Noy, there you go.
Take a wide receiver.
They get an A.
Over there.
They're always prepared.
Which team deserves an A in the NFC?
Huh.
All right.
Let me think about this.
That's really a difficult one.
I've got
I don't
two
know.
teams.
It's not like there's one
Me
team
too.
that
Well,
really
before you say your
stands
two,
out.
let me say my one, the Los Angeles Rams. And we talked a little bit about
I
this.
think we all can reveal real quick. Yeah.
We talked a little bit about this yesterday. I broke my whiteboard again. Talked a little bit about this yesterday. All those mix of personalities. The only question was, how are all these mixed personalities going to mesh there? Because it's one thing to just bring in talent, but you've got to have the chemistry, right? And credit Sean McVay for being the guy that's keeping it all in check.
Wade Phillips,
He's a great coach. Joe Barry's over there on that defense. Aubrey Pleasant, the DB coach. He coached us in D.C., and so I told him, like, man, you got a cast of characters in that room, and if anybody can handle those guys, it was Aubrey Pleasant.
But you know what? Everybody, just hold up your boards real quick.
We all
got
are
the same
Rams.
For the sake of brevity,
Obviously,
we're all
they haven't lost.
They're clearly the teacher's pets.
Yeah.
Right.
They got A's. Okay, yeah, you're Sally in the front row. They know every answer. Okay.
Which team is the most improved in the AFC?
Oh, this is easy for me.
All right.
I'll go first on this one. I'm going to say the Houston Texans.
All right.
The Houston Texans were 0-3, coming off of a bad L to the G-men. All right, and everybody said, what in the wide world's going on here? Deshaun Watson, what happened to him? Everybody thought he was going to be the comeback player of the year. All they've done is rattle off 5 wins in a row. They're finally found a way to protect him in the pocket. Both these tackles were given up. They gave up more pressure through the first 5 weeks than any other tackle combination in the league. He's found a way to get the ball to that guy, D. Hopkins, but Deshaun Watson, he's balling. He's taking care of the football. We know he can run the football well and get outside the pocket, but he's making a lot of big-time throws inside the pocket. So the Houston Texans have done a great job.
Looks much more comfortable than he did early in the season, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Back-to-back games, they didn't turn over the ball. As you said, they're taking care of the ball. So the Texans are off the board, so I can't take them. So I am going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers, but they're...
You can't spell Pittsburgh?
I just
could have drawn it while he was talking.
I just did Steelers
all the pressure.
and
Pressure.
All right, so for
It's
me,
B-U-R-G-H.
it's all about the defense for them, because if we're talking about the turnaround from week 1, I know, I started and I was like, I don't know, whatever, it's fine. From the past 3 weeks, the defense is allowing the fewest yards per play. And for me, at the beginning of the season, the defense was what I was questioning the most. I love what I've seen from Stephon Tuitt, from Cam Hayward, Javon Hargrave. These guys are stepping up. They're flashing. And then you have Bud Dupree and TJ Watt doing their thing, too. This defense, I think they're finally coming around, and that would be their secondary is stopping big plays from happening. I love this defense right now.
And you couple that with James Conner.
It doesn't matter.
Right?
If I jump in, I'll jump in. I'm going to jump in and say Houston.
There you go.
I'm taking the same thing
Okay.
Sean took. And, I mean, I'm looking at what they did last year, how they started out this year. Obviously, last year, Deshaun Watson was hurt. This year, they get him back. They think they're going to get that MVP caliber type of season. He starts out rough. He's getting hit a lot. Now he's,
How about that defense?
I know that defense. That defense was a defense that I thought going into the year would compete with Jacksonville as, hey, we're the best defense in the NFL. And
J.J. Watt
is coming back. He's getting sacks. Clowney's getting sacks, affecting change. Matthew back there, I love him. I mean, I think that team's poised to, to keep getting better and make a run in the playoffs.
Especially in that
Clowney's
division.
balling out. Whitney Merciless coming back. And let's not forget about Honeybacker coming.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Tyrann Mathieu,
Yep, nobody
they've
remembers
overcome
that
some
signing.
offensive line issues and some issues.
What is on top? What's that on
Bolt
top?
up?
What's that?
Talk about that's
He got lightning
That's the
bolts.
bolt.
the bolt. It's
Okay.
It's not great. It's better than my fish shield for the Kansas City Chiefs that I just did, but the Chargers. Now look, most improved from this point of last season to now because they closed the season last year playing really good football. So I'm getting off on a technicality here because they did finish strong last year. But I just, and the stats really don't blow you away when you look at the numbers, but it's just the way that they're playing and the confidence they're playing with and how well Phillip Rivers is playing. He's got 3 interceptions on the year to 17 touchdowns, possible MVP conversation if he can somehow get going in the second half. Maybe Patrick Mahomes slows down a little bit. I like this team right now. I love what Anthony Lynn has done since he's been there. Maybe we haven't talked enough about the offensive job, the job that he has done as a head coach.
I like the Chargers, too. Here's the problem. They need to get some wins against
No home
teams.
field advantage?
No, teams with a winning record.
Okay.
And the 2 good teams that they played, they lost. So I'm with you. They're much improved, but they've beaten up on some bad teams.
Which NFC team is most improved?
Most improved. That's easy for me.
Who did I have? Oh, okay.
Can you tell me who I had, by the way? Oh, I got it. Never mind.
D'Angelo, you're saying that's easy. Who is it?
Because I had 2, and I'm just going to give my team one. Just the biggest. I'm not even going to split the whiteboard with the Bears, even though the Bears are playing really good. I'm going with the Redskins, man, because I was a part of that bad team last year, and to see what they're doing now
I'm in the shot.
makes me wish I had played one more season.
Hey, it ain't over
Because
yet.
they're really good.
It ain't over yet.
It's over for me. I'm done.
Okay, it's over.
Watching the Bama boys, they are so good. It's that defense really.
And they got a Temple
is
guy.
humming along
they got
now.
a Temple guy, Matt Ioannidis, who
Temple tough.
plays lights out too, man.
I'm co-signing with you here, and I'm going with the Washington as well. Their last 3 games, when you look at the wins, they've had 1 turnover. And they're average almost 150 yards rushing game. So on offense, they're taking care of the football. They're pounding the rock. I think obviously Adrian Peterson found the fountain of youth down there.
Yes, he did.
And I think they're giving them the rock, which is great. But you mentioned the defense. Take a look at their defense and what they've done. All right, the last 3 weeks, Christian McCaffrey, 20 yards rushing. Ezekiel Elliott, 33 yards rushing. Saquon Barkley, 38 yards rushing. So this Washington defense, listen, I mean, it's our nation's capital. All right, we spend how much money a year on our defense?
Defense department gets it going, man. I appreciate that.
They're investing money
Capital punishment,
man, in our defense.
They are.
Whew, Mike Robb just walked in here. I don't know what the heck happened there. Okay.
Hey,
you go.
Okay, I am taking most improved team, the Seahawks. The Seahawks right now, look at this. Oh, they're 4-1 over their last 5 games. The only loss in there was a 2-point loss to the Rams. And in these wins right now, they're outscoring opponents 99-47. Russell Wilson has a pocket, finally. The offensive line has been such a weakness. Now he doesn't have to throw as much either because that offensive line can also run block. They're running the ball well. Chris Carson and Mike Davis, they're doing their thing. You have Doug Baldwin back. That makes a huge difference. Tyler Lockett, he's having a career year. And David Ward, 7th rounder. Or David Moore, 7th rounder. He's been balling as well. So this team, recently, they just started turning things around after I think a lot of people wrote them off.
Yeah. They were almost going to get labeled bad test takers.
Oh, yeah. Almost.
Hey, my son's really smart. He's just not good at exams. He's not good at tests.
The talk about the Seahawks demise was greatly exaggerated. That's the way that you want to rebuild or reload or whatever you want to call it, because it is a transition year for them. They're still competing. I'm going with the Bears. I liked what they did coming in. I talked a lot about the additions that they made coming into the year. Look, they're top 10 in points for, they're top 10 in yards for, they're top 10 in points against, they're top 10 in yards given up. Here's what I love. I love this stat. This is the success, the formula for success still in this league. 963 yards rushing, 582 yards rushing allowed. That will win you football games in this league, Sean O'Hara.
So you're giving them a C for Chicago or a B for Bears? If we were giving them grades.
I'm giving them an A for.
Oh, you're an easy grader. Which AFC team is in danger of failing?
Oh, I know.
So failing, I guess, missing the playoffs.
Danger of failing?
We don't quite know.
Yeah,
We talked about this.
You can make it, do whatever you want with it.
We can say the Denver Broncos because, to me right now, Vance Joseph remains on the hot seat. I don't know how fair it is because he hasn't had himself a quarterback since he's been there. So I just.
Yeah, but he brought him in. What do you mean?
Who brought who in?
Oh,
John Elway brought you guys in. So you can have that conversation all you want, but you just wonder at this point if they don't pick it up here and if they're kind of middling or whatever, this team is going to have to make a decision here at the head coaching position. So I can't
believe they might flunk the course.
I mean, I can't believe their defense has given up the rushing yards that they've given up.
Well, they're aging. You know, the problem is you have to backfill these guys as they start to get older with some of the guys, and they have not done that in Denver.
Yeah.
Well, Bradley Chubb.
Shane
One
Ray.
guy.
Yeah, I know.
Chubb, Shane Ray.
There are 53 guys on the roster.
Okay. True. They got to do that. Okay, who do you have, Sean?
I'm going to go with the Jags. People call them different things, Jaguars. I call them right now a hot mess. And when you look at this team, their identity last year was run the football, be physical up front offense, and defensively get after people. I mean, I don't think they have a 100-yard rusher yet this season. And I know Leonard Fournette's been hurt, TGL's been banged up. I mean, it was so bad they signed Jamal Charles and they traded for Carlos Hyde. But they've lost their identity defensively. So I think unless they get this thing fixed, they've got some time right now to find out what's going on. They've still got some really good pass rushers up front, obviously, and some great defenders in the back end, too. But they're just not playing well, and they're a hot mess off the field.
They've only been over.
It's shocking with knowing that it's Doug Marrone, PC at the helm, and to have all that chaos going on.
In 8 games, they've only been over 100 as a team 4 times, and 137, 126. The other game's 104, 101. So it's not like they've been really rushing it the way you're talking about.
It's definitely not what we saw last year from them.
It's school, midterm grades.
Okay, here we go. In danger of failing, the Bengals. Because at the beginning of the season, I said that the Bengals were going to make it past the first round of the playoffs. That was my bold prediction. And now what I saw from them on Sunday, that defense, they gave up 576 yards to the Bucs. Right now, they are on pace to be worse than the 2012 Saints, who were, that's saying a lot right there. So injuries are a part of it, but of course miscommunications are as well. There's a lot that they really need to pull together there. And if they don't, then yes, they are in danger of failing. Okay.
I know.
D'Angelo, you keep, hold on.
I know.
By the way, D'Angelo keeps writing stuff and then just erasing it. What's happening over here? You're going with...
I mean, I'm going with.
He gave him a grade.
I'm going with the straight constant, and it's the Oakland Raiders. It's one thing
failing?
we know.
We weren't even giving grades here, but you did.
I know, but I gave him a straight F because I had about 3 teams, but you guys took all of my teams, and so I had to keep erasing as you go.
We got to let you go first.
I know I got to go first. You can still see some of them, but it's the Raiders, man. The Raiders are just not showing me a commitment to trying to win games, man. Yeah, to trying to win games. As a guy who was in that Raider locker room for 8 games, I know it's win now, baby. And they aren't doing that. And I don't see where they go from here because I think Derek Carr, they might try to get him out of there at some point, or he might try to get out of there.
He won't, not yet.
I don't know if him and John are as tight as people think they are.
What's crazy, I'm sure none of us took those pass-fail classes in college.
Oh, yeah.
But when you're a first-year head coach, that's basically what this is. It's pass-fail. You're like, it's not about the grades.
Exactly.
And
Let's just try to be better.
Which NFC team is in danger of failing? They got to lock it up here in the second half of things.
Let me think about it. There we go.
They got to turn things
Thank you,
around.
teleprompter. I forget what my
Okay.
is. Who's going first?
You go first.
All right, I didn't really know what this question meant, so earlier I took the Broncos.
What do you mean failing? Because we're giving grades.
I said Bucks. I'm holding Bucks.
Okay.
Oh, they're in my ear talking.
Voices?
To me,
voices.
I got a couple. To me, it meant what team could potentially be failing toward rebuilding or making a coaching change. I said Broncos earlier. I'm looking at Bucks right now. Tough spot for Dirk Cutter. We talked yesterday about how it wasn't going to be a good look either way. If he stuck with Jameis Winston or if he went back to Ryan Fitzpatrick, whom that locker room would have loved to have had continue as the quarterback even when Jameis Winston came back. So I'm seeing this team right now probably playing out the string. They also need to make a decision whether Jameis Winston's even going to see the field the rest of the year, because now you're treading into RG3 Washington territory where we don't want him to get hurt and have that big injury guarantee trigger for next year.
Okay, like it.
I mean,
Sean?
Thank you.
I mean, they're dropping the pencil, they're dropping the eraser, a lot of fumbling and a lot of turnovers.
Do not tell me that you're really going to say.
This is not going to be a very popular pick. They're the defending Super Bowl champs, and I know Alex, our producer, is going to hate me for this. Here's what
I don't know.
I have concerns.
Colleen's going to hate you too.
Sorry, what?
Listen, that could be the season. It could disappear like that.
It could.
Here's why.
Whatever.
Look, the Eagles are a good football team, but Lane Johnson just went down with a big injury. They came out of London with the victory, but they might have lost the war there. And when you look at Lane Johnson maybe missing the next couple of weeks with the MCL, Jason Peters been banged up. Here is why I'm saying they could be found. Look who they're playing the second half of the season. Look at their next 8 games. The Dallas Cowboys twice. Without Lane Johnson here, DeMarcus Lawrence, he had 15 sacks last year. I think he's got 7 this year already. They got to go to the New Orleans, play the Saints with Cam Jordan, Marcus Davenport. You said he's the most improved player. They've got to play the Redskins, who we just talked about. Their defense is coming alive.
Skipped over a game.
They've got to play the Rams, right, in L.A. Aaron Donald, he's leading the NFL in sacks right now. They got to play the Houston Texans. Jadeveon Clowney, J.J. Watt.
Big boy game.
Yeah.
They've got an unbelievably tough schedule, and I don't know if they're going to be able to protect Carson.
Nah, it's going to be tough for them. But I think these teams are in worse shape than those. I know. I say teams because I got Atlanta, Green Bay, and the Cowboys. Because all of those teams are on the verge of not making the playoffs. And these were teams who had high expectations going into the season. Dallas went all in trying to get they got Amari Cooper. Let's see what he pans out to be. Green Bay, they play good one week, they play
they're in
bad
the middle
one week,
of a
and they're in a division
that's,
Chicago's playing great, Minnesota's playing good with Kirk Cousins, Detroit is playing good, and Atlanta, I think Atlanta will turn it around, but I think they're just so far behind.
Those injuries have been
New
tough
Orleans
for Atlanta,
and Carolina.
Yeah.
I just don't see where Atlanta.
They need a tutor. They need some extra credit, probably.
Yeah, I got a whole crew.
Okay, I am going with the Lions right now. Now, I know they are playing better right now, but they couldn't run the ball. They couldn't stop the run. You look at their division right now. The Bears were the only team that won. It's still last week. It's still a really close division, but they gotta turn things around. And then you look at
your boy Carry on.
Exactly. Next month for them is going to be key because they have divisional road games against the Vikings. They have a game against the Bears there, and then at home they have Bears, Rams. This is tough for them. The Packers.
It's tough.
A lot of good
I think this next month, though, is going to be key for them. And if they could make some noise still, but failing for them, I don't know how many people had super high expectations.
Yeah, I don't think they did.
You had a new coach. You have a lot of different parts coming in there, new parts, but still.
They need some extra credit.
And you're in
They do.
Maybe a couple extra book reports.
Green Bay and Minnesota. So I didn't have high hopes for Detroit anyway. But, they are right on that edge. They can go up or they can go down.